Hey everyone, this is JamesRoguski, and today is March 9th, 2024, and I have some interesting news to share with you today. A couple of days ago, I was poking around on the internet looking for the next version of the quote-unquote pandemic treaty, which is supposedly circulating amongst the people in Geneva. But what I stumbled upon was something even more valuable. So thank you, Lord, for sharing with me the document that has been secret for well over a year. I stumbled upon the what appears to be the negotiating text for the amendments to the international health regulations. I've put in FOIA requests for this document. Other people around the world have done so. Well, now we have it, and I'm going to share it with you right now. And so if you go to rejecttheamendments.com, it'll take you to this article on my Substack. And I'm going to try to make this very, very simple. It's a 60-page document that will hurt your brain if you read it. You can click on document and do that. But here's the quick summary that I think everyone can understand. These are 10 issues that are in this working negotiating text of the proposed amendments to the international health regulations. And in my personal view, and I trust that many people will share that view, these are absolutely unacceptable. Now, number one of the things that these amendments would do is give the Director General of the World Health Organization full authority to declare not just a public health emergency of international concern or a fake, but he could also declare an early action alert or a pandemic emergency. Allowing one person to fearmonger now on 3 different levels is absolutely unacceptable. Mike Ryan, who's the emergency director for the WHO, said that they got 37,000 notifications from around the world on the past year. Well, I will not accept that one man, Tedros Ghebreyesus, would have the authority to take any of those 37,000 and turn them into an early action alert. Have Bill Gates's germ team come swoop in, and if there are compliant government officials, do horrible things to the people in whatever that area might be, so that they could then say that they stopped the next pandemic. This is unacceptable. There are no checks or balances on his power. I don't know what these people are thinking, but that will not be accepted by the people of the world. We will not have a health dictator fear-mongering thousands of times a year whenever he says that early action needs to be taken. Obviously, if there's a problem, prudent actions should be taken, but there needs to be accountability, and so far this document has none of it. Going on to number 2, there are a number of places, Articles 24, 27, and Annexes 4 and 8, where they are adding language to utilize the concept of quarantining travelers. This is absolutely unacceptable. If I'm embarking on a trip or disembarking from a ship or an airplane, no, you will not be testing me to see if I should go into quarantine. That is absolutely unacceptable. More documents required for travel? I don't think so. We will not be subjected to show us your papers, please, especially with number 4, if it's based on vaccines that are authorized by the WHO for emergency use. Please look into the fact that emergency use authorization and pre-authorization makes a lot of money for the WHO. They charge fees to say that products have been pre-authorized or accepted or used for emergency use. I will not accept their money-making venture to require vaccines for emergency use. Number one, vaccines aren't even vaccines. They don't work. They don't stop infection or transmission. This is unacceptable. Article 42 has some very interesting language that I would love to speak to a lot of people about because it could be interpreted in a lot of ways. I won't do that interpretation right now because it could be almost anything that you might imagine, but it says that they want non-state actors to comply with government dictates. That is absolutely unacceptable. Creating a fascist, collaboration between business and government is not acceptable. Surveillance may or may not mean what you think it means, but it is clearly an ongoing invasion of our privacy. Typically, when they use the word surveillance, what they mean is they want to scoop up every snippet of genetic information about pathogens with pandemic potential. And no, you will not be collecting genetic information from any part of me or any part of the environment just so that you can say that you found another scary pathogen that might cause disease X, Y, or Z. What that really comes down to is a proliferation of pathogens with pandemic potential. And so setting up a pathogen access and benefit sharing system, which is mostly in the other document, but it is mentioned here in Article 44 and Annex 1. No, it is unacceptable to do biological weapons research and development and try to give it a nice name like PABs, pathogen access and benefit. What are the benefits that you're sharing? Certainly not the benefits of gain of function that turns into drugs and jabs that cause more problems than they solve. This is also unacceptable. Many people are unaware that we currently have an office in each of our nation's governments called the National IHR Focal Point. Well, now they want to turn it into the National IHR Authority and give it the authority to implement all of the components of these proposed amendments to the international health regulations. No, WHO, you will not dictate laws in our nations and set up an IHR authority to comply with the international health regulations. Number 9, it says very clearly in Article 45 that they can give away publicly your private information. They just have to tell you that they're going to do it. That is unacceptable. Privacy is a human right, and you will not make private information public. That is unacceptable. And last but not least, attempting to limit my freedom of speech and freedom of expression under the guise of countering mis and disinformation? No. We will speak loud and proud and expose what you are doing because the misinformation that is out there is really the missing information that you don't want us to see. Well, I got news for you. We found your stinking document, and now the world will know what you have been negotiating in private. And as far as I am concerned, and I trust that many people around the world will agree with me, the negotiations that you've been having in terms of the international health regulations and the proposed amendments are absolutely unacceptable. These negotiations must stop. We do not accept changes to the international health regulations. You missed your deadline on January 27th, 2024 to give us 4 months notice. So we've got 2 months notice, more or less. And the answer to your desire to change the international health regulations without our approval is very, very clear. I do not approve, and I trust that millions and possibly even billions of people around the world also do not approve of these amendments. Get all this information at rejecttheamendments.com. And if you have any questions, give me a phone call at 310-619-3055.